This woman was a billionaire, but later lost everything in a single signature. I kid you not.
Nilikuwa na wadau, nilikuwa na wateja, nilikuwa nakubalika.
She went from selling clothes to chicken farming and soon became a very rich car dealer with stores in different countries such as Kenya and Mozambique. She traveled the world and had a luxurious house, a fancy car, and a life of pure extravagance.
Mimi nilikuwa nafikisha kama bilioni 3 hivi na mapointi.
But then, through signing on just one paper, she lost it all. She now lives in a dilapidated house, sleeps on an uncomfortable bed, and sells fruits and vegetables in a tiny, cramped shop. Her children, who once attended prestigious schools and rode in their mother's luxury cars, now walk to a regular school on their own feet. How could someone who used to earn hundreds of millions now have nothing left but a small shop with only a few products and one goat? What did she do that made her go from billions to nothing? It may sound like an exaggeration or a mystery, but such experiences are all too common in today's world. In Tanzania, I met Eve, and our conversation completely changed my view of wealth. Just listen to how a single moment can wipe out everything we've spent years building.
My name is Eve, and I am 42 years old. I was born here in Dar es Salaam and have lived here my whole life. I have 3 children, and I live with them alone because their father and I are divorced. But the reasons for our divorce are related to the difficulties I have faced in life. I am the one who takes care of my children, and I support us through the small business you saw.
Her current situation is very different from her past, where she enjoyed a high standard of living and financial security. She used to have a luxurious life with lots of money and many businesses.
Mimi nilikuwa mfanyabiashara mkubwa sana mahiri.
I used to be a successful businesswoman, known by many people. I sold various items and became so rich that I lived outside of my country. I had many employees to manage my business here, while I was abroad handling other business matters and enjoying life. My first business was selling clothes. Then I started raising chickens, beginning with 60. The business did so well that the number of chickens increased to 1,500.
During these years, she was a young, unmarried woman, but a very smart girl who knew how to work. She did everything that could make her money without compromising her values. At this time, everything she did was going so well that she started making a lot of money from her efforts.
I used to run other small businesses and would do anything that could make me money. Things went so well that after 2 years, I had 32 million. This was a lot of money, but I felt I needed to work hard to become very rich. However, I faced obstacles because I didn't have much education and sometimes needed help with ideas or management. There was a guy I met who loved me, but I felt I had no time for love. He was educated, and since I needed help to keep my businesses running smoothly, I kept him close. He helped me, and I started to love him. We spent time together, and eventually, my heart opened to him, and we became a family.
After moving in together, they had 3 children and lived a good life. However, as time passed, they faced various problems that caused their relationship to deteriorate. These issues were mainly due to differences in their perspectives and thinking. Eventually, these problems led to the end of their life as a family.
I wouldn't say that my husband and I had a bad family, but the problem was that he didn't like to work. Since I was young, I felt the need to work hard all the time. He not only disliked working, but also started spending money recklessly, which caused all our businesses to fail. Eventually, I realized I needed to do something because we were losing a lot. Due to our worsening relationship, we decided to separate. I took the children with me, knowing I had the ability to work and provide for them. Facing many problems, I began to try desperate measures to make money again. I went to witches to get charms to improve my business, a common but wrong practice among business people. As a result, I started getting more deals and making unusual profits, which frightened me.
She continued running various businesses, including selling chickens and other activities. Her profits grew at an extraordinary rate, reaching hundreds of millions. This success brought her new ideas and introduced her to new people. As time went on, her desire for more wealth increased, driving her to invest money wherever possible to achieve greater riches.
After seeing my money increase, I realized that what I was doing wasn't enough. I met other wealthy people who ran different businesses, including some car dealers who made a lot of money. This inspired me to consider getting into the car business. At that time, I had 300 million to start with. However, it was very difficult because I needed to go abroad to buy the cars and then send them back here. My employees had to manage the business while I was away, and this worked well for sure.
At this time, everything was going well. The car business was thriving, with large numbers of cars being sold both in her country and in Kenya. However, her eagerness to keep multiplying her money had an impact on her, leading to the situation she finds herself in today.
When I wasn't here, everything was going well. However, I encountered problems when my employees started making mistakes, causing the business to decline. This required me to return to Tanzania to manage the business myself. By this time, I had 2 more stores, one in Kenya and the other in Mozambique. I must admit, I had a problem with greed and wanting to get richer. I would try anything that promised to make me money. When the business started going badly, I resorted to desperate measures again and went to see a witch doctor in Kenya.
She took a trip to a neighboring country to find a solution to her problem. Instead of finding a solution, she was about to open the door to a shocking realization that would undermine everything she had worked for over the years.
When I arrived, I met 2 men who gave me the idea that led to my current situation. I explained everything to them, and when they learned I had a lot of money, they suggested I leave the car business and go into mining. They presented many compelling points, and I started to see it as a very profitable opportunity. They promised to help me find a place in the Congo to start my business soon. They advised me to convert all my money into bitcoins. I can't forget this word, claiming it was safe. Since I didn't know much about it, I agreed and followed their instructions. I took all the money I had and did all they told me. I didn't understand the process because I was completely inexperienced. They gave me a paper to sign and told me to return to my country. They assured me they would call me in 2 days to connect me with someone in Congo who would guide me. As I mentioned, I didn't go to school and knew nothing about these things. I didn't see a problem because, in the past, people had advised me to invest in the car business, and I made a profit, so I thought this would also work.
She returned home, hoping that her future would be filled with even greater financial success than before. However, instead of achieving this dream, her life was about to take a turn for the worse in ways she never imagined.
When I came back, I felt confident and believed that in just a few days, I would start making a massive income. Upon arriving in Tanzania, I immediately went to see my children at my mother's place, as I was often away and had left them in her care. The first day passed, then the second without any phone call, My heart started to worry, but I remained hopeful, thinking things might still turn out well. However, as more time passed with no changes, I became increasingly anxious. The most frightening realization was that the Bitcoin transaction made it impossible to trace where the money went. I felt like I was losing my mind. In my desperate search for those men, I spent all the remaining money and resources I had. In the end, everything was gone, and I had lost everything.
The life of someone who used to travel abroad, live in a nice house, own cars, and do whatever she wanted turned into a life of begging. She ended up with nowhere to live and nothing left. All she had were her children and one friend who helped her get to where we found her today.
Sikuwa sawa kabisa.
After they stole my money, I felt mentally unstable and couldn't think clearly. I felt like I was getting older, so I turned to alcohol to help me forget my problems. However, this only made things worse. One friend, whom I am very proud of, came to comfort me. I was in a very bad state and didn't know how I would support my children. Despite my struggles with alcohol, she helped me get back on my feet and start working again.
Today, even though she is not living as she used to, her passion for work remains strong. She has managed to send her children to school and provide them with food. The house she lives in now is very different from her previous home, but the best thing is that she has regained her peace and self-confidence. She is still involved in business, selling a few fruits and vegetables and raising a goat. She says she continues doing this because she believes she will become a rich woman again, confident in her ability to work hard.
People used to know me as a rich woman, and even now they talk about me a lot because I became poor in the blink of an eye. Despite this, I thank God for enabling me to live well with others, which is why some people tried to help me. I did not get discouraged, even though it was difficult. I continued to fight and work hard because I realized that what happened to me should not be the end. Instead, I took it as an important lesson and decided to move forward with my life, believing that I can reach the same level as before. To finish, I want to advise my fellow Tanzanians and anyone who hears my story. In everything you do, especially in business, put God first instead of trusting in evil spirits. Everyone should be content with what they have because my downfall came from not being satisfied. Another important point is that there are many bad people out there, and with today's advanced technology, it's easy for someone to steal from you. Be careful in the decisions you make, but most importantly, put God first. He will guide you in all things.
Let her story teach us important lessons in life because we are all here. It could be me or you tomorrow. Be content with what you have. Greed can lead to risky decisions that might cause you to lose everything. Be careful with your investments and business decisions, and most importantly, put your faith in God rather than in superstitions or shortcuts. Keep working hard and don't give up. Your efforts will eventually pay off. I am Simon Greenwood, and this is Afrimax English. Remember to subscribe.